Hey guys, here's Louis. I'm going to explain what do I feel about installing a complete floor. I'm also going to explain a couple of other things. So you guys might ask yourself, what did it take really to put this complete floor in the car? I mean, the ups and downs, the positives, the negatives of really installing a complete floor. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Will I do it again? 100% yes. It's really hot outside. It's close to 90 degrees. The humidity is almost 100. It's crazy. Any little move you do, you start sweating. I've been working really hard on this car for 2 days straight. Was nothing but welding that floor together, and in between that, making videos, which you guys that make videos know that is also time consuming. I make these videos to try to help you guys out there that could get frustrated on your project, get stuck on your project. I know what was that feeling when I first started. So I like anybody else, you got to take time to make videos, but I was able to do about 3 videos, I believe, plus in 2 days weld that complete floor with the frame rails, with the convertible brace in the middle, also towards the back of the trunk floor, the cocktail shakers. And was it worth it? 100% yes. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the last time I did this, I was welding on my back with the floor facing up, and I was on my back, and believe you me, there was no fun on that. Okay, it was no fun. I even thought at one time I had a piece of metal from the welding, like a welding spark, go into my ear, and I did not like it. I hated it, and I think I believe I was also doing that in the summer, and I started sweating, and the sweat went in my eyes. I mean, it was crazy. So now I was free in the garage, and I was able to weld it away from the car, nice and comfortable. No sparks flying into my ears or burning me up and on my arms or whatever. You know, I'm fighting gravity when you're welding the floor on your back. But it wasn't that easy. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't easy, but it also wasn't extremely difficult installing this floor. You guys that saw the video, my wife did help me put on the floor, install the floor into the car. And I asked her last night, and I told her about how long you think it really took us to put in that floor. She says about 30 minutes. So if you could sacrifice 30 minutes, okay, let's say you take a break and it'll take you 45 minutes. I mean, really long, an hour, but it took us 30 minutes. Okay, if you could sacrifice 30 minutes of your time, of a little sweat here and there and fighting the floor, it's worth it, because now I just have to weld on the edge of the car. I don't have to be underneath the car. I don't have to do this, do that. I'll be nice and welding comfortable, no problem. All right, so I'm gonna also show you guys, because it's not the best floor I ever bought. On the white car, I was really lucky to find an old stock at Ames. I called Ames. They was coming to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which is 2 hours away from me. And I happened to buy 2 floors, but one floor was for me and one floor was for a buddy of mine just to flip it. And he did instantly. And let me tell you something, this old stock, I even pay a little cheaper because it had its scuffs here and there. It wasn't dented. This new one from Dynacorn was dented. And if you guys watch the video, it was dented on one corner of the, like where the back seat goes. And I did my tricks with the hammer and dolly. It looks brand new. But the old one that I bought from Ames, the old stock, fit phenomenal. I mean, I was really happy with it. And I think I had to do one relief cut on one side of it, which I explained that before. I will show you guys now. But on this one, I had to do 2 relief cuts. And not only 2 relief cuts, I saw a bracket towards the front where your seat mounts go, where the cage nut is for the subframe. I saw on the driver's side is a little cocked, a little crooked, not 100% crazy that I have to blow everything apart, but it is a little crooked, and that's why one of my cage nuts do not match like the passenger side, like one dead on. But it is going to work out because you have movement on your cage nut. I will explain that in a little bit. And the front with the transmission tunnel, I have to add a little metal, which I'm not too happy about. I know it was nothing bad on my side because I'm tired of welding these cars. I mean, it's not my first go around. My toe boards and everything. I mean, toe boards are really not that hard, guys. It's really not a difficult job to do, and everything was lining up there. So I have to add some metal, and you know what? I'm still grateful at the end of the day that we have these aftermarket parts to make these cars hit the road again one day. So I just felt that I have to share this for people that are doing this for the first time and they meet these issues. You guys are gonna probably think like, oh my God, I did something wrong on my side, or what is this? How do I get rid of this? Nobody ever spoke about it. So I wanna be as honest as possible, as clear as day, as clear as water, to tell you this have happened to me. Little issues here and there have happened before, but there is always a way to get out of it. So let me share with you guys the floor and how it's coming along. And I'm also going to share with you guys what's the next process that I did. So after installing the floor in, the complete floor, rear frame rails, trunk floor, and main floor in the front, what I like to do is I like to get a leveler, number one, and put it on the trunk, okay? Always write down the original measurements of your floor, of your trunk floor, from here to this height here, which is 17 and a half. For me, if yours is a little different, I'm constantly say all these cars wasn't put together the same. But if you have an original floor in your car and it's not out of whack, take those measurements. This also was 17 and a half. And from this center going down to this line right here, this raised line, which that's for strength, that on the trunk floor here, I got 20 and 1/8. And the way I get this, I did the same thing to the 68 white car that I did. I like to get 2 jacks, and if you guys could see there, let me see if I could zoom in. If you guys could see there, I have 4x4 and also a 2x4 put together, which makes another 4x4. So I have 2 4x4 blocks, about 8 inches, I would say, to 10 inches long, with an iron bar cross underneath the front of the rear frame rails. And that's how I move the adjustment up and down with the jacks, okay? And that's how I get to play around with the height of the floor, okay? So there goes an idea. That's how I do it. All right. Also trying to get this nice and even. And as you guys could see there, that bubble is nice and in the center, okay? It's right in the middle. And then when I finished doing that and I made sure that all my adjustments are there and the floor is nice and straight, I will go to the inner wheelhouse and I start using my vice grips, okay? Start putting vice grips on there because I do not want it to move. All right, that's the way I do it. Like I said, everybody have their way. Just showing you how Louis does it here at First Generation Garage. And then from there, I will move to the main floor here, okay? And from the main floor, I have another 4x4 with a dead blow hammer I will lie it down here and I'll start hitting it down here, hitting it down there until that metal of the toe boards and the front metal of the main floor is touching each other. And I'll keep on going back and forth until I'm good. Okay. Now, from the middle, I use this drain hole here. From the middle, from the center of it, going up to the height of the inner rocker. Okay. So what I did was I got a measuring tape and I used a straight edge, my ruler, all right, to get the measurements. And I got 2 inches and 1/8. Also on the other side, 2 inches and 1/8. Let me see if I could show you guys that. There you go, the 2 inches and 1/8 right there. So that's the height I got, okay? And I was extremely happy with that height. Then I put on my seat risers and check that out. It looks like everything is gonna fit spot on. Sometimes you have to hammer it. Sometimes the panel comes. Look at how close to this edge is here. And as it goes towards the back, they give you more metal so it passes this. So sometimes you have to cut it and then start doing your plug welds from there. Then I did the same thing to that side, checked everything was cool. It was excellent. Okay. Also, bubble levels, very important. Got that one in the middle, and we got this one right in the middle, and also the one in the front in the middle. Okay. Now I measured from the center. You see that little dot there that I did with a marker? That's the center hole, right in the middle of the hole where the cage nut is gonna mount to the rear subframe. I put a tape measure to the firewall, okay, and I recorded. Let me move this, 32 1/8. Okay, 32 1/8. I also did this side, the other side. Okay, and this is what I want to explain to you when I was talking about the floor pan, that I'm not too crazy about it, but at least we have it. We just have to massage these things. Is because number one, there goes the relief cut, the number one relief cut. That's not bad. That side is not bad. I'll be able to weld that, no problem. But if you guys really pay attention to that, imagine if I did not do that relief cut, there would be a big gap there, too big. And a lot of people complained to me before, and I did say I will show you how to get that nice and tight. Okay. What I'm not happy is, but it is what it is, that this flange here, this piece of metal is not lining up 100% with this. So I have to add some metal there for it could meet up 100%. And the other side, the gap is even a little bigger. But these are things that you have to do. And with all my measurements, I know I'm correct. The floor is not. Then, if you see here, that's where I have the tape measure. Over here where your steering column comes out, it's more in than your heater box. Your heater box is coming out more. So you cannot put the measuring tape there. And if you see, it's going from here. Sorry, it's going from here to here. Okay. And that's where I got the measuring tape. And that's where I got my measurements of the 32 1/8. Yep, 32 1/8. So they both spot on. Okay. They both spot on. 32 1/8 is that center. Remember, the cage nut right in the center. Remember, it has movement. So just try to line it up right to the center. Now, this arrow, 31 going that way, also 31 going that way. I did all this. That's the center of the mounting hole where the bolt goes of the cage nut underneath your seat riser, going to the front where your torque box mounts. I'm going to show you. Center to center, that's 31. And if you guys have your subframe anywhere, mines are outside, measure that hole, center to center, and believe me, it's going to be 31. So let me see if I could do this But I have this stick here, okay, and I know it's way thinner than the hole, but pretty much in the middle. All right. Again, these things have a lot of wiggle room. All right. They have a whole lot of wiggle room, and right now it's a little forward, but I got 30, 31, 31 center to center of the mounting hole. And that's why I know on both sides, that's the passenger side, the driver's side, I know that I am 100% good. It's going to mount. Once again, the cage nut does have some movement, but I'm not doing it with movement. I am doing it right in the center, to right in the center of the cage nut towards your torque box. All right. Now, check this out. This two lines, if I take this off, lines up right. You can see it right to the cage nut. Okay. Oh, and my relief cut here on the passenger side is really wide. Is that one I could just stitch it down, welding it. This one I have to add some metal because it's just too wide to weld. Okay, I mean you will never catch the metal that wide. So I have to add a little strip of metal and start welding from there. Like I said, no big deal. I could do it, you guys could do it too, but these are things you have to look out. Okay, now this is what I was talking about here. All right, so this line I made it when it still had the original floor, and it had this floor was eaten up, but it had the original mounting points for the cage nut. If you guys will go to the old previous videos, okay, and it's not crazy out of whack, but it's not that good either. So it's like half. She's right in the center of that with just this line. Thanks God that cage nut has movements, so you can play around with it. But if you guys see that, that's going more, this bracket is going more towards the back. I don't know if you guys could pick that up, but me here in the garage, 100% I can. All right. But since this cage nut have movement, I'm okay. That's why last night I was playing around with the measurements from here to the torque boxes, also from there to the torque box, and center to center cage nut mounting bolt, mounting nut is 31 inches. Okay, so I'm okay, I'm good, thanks God. But if you guys could see that, I mean, like this is straight, like this is straight. Okay, she's a little off, as you guys could see. If I would turn this bracket in more, then she'll be spot on. But I thought I would have to drill out all the spot welds and make it 100% straight. I really don't, because the cage nut has movement. But I figure, I told myself this is important. I want the people to know the issues I'm having, because you guys might run into these issues. I really hope you don't. And I know all my mounting points are here. Good. Look at that. It's going to fall right into place with a little hammering. I'll go right there. This is nice and tight. I don't have not even a vice grip on the floor, and look at how tight it is. So I love it. So you have your pro and your cons, you know, and I don't mind, because the important thing is to, when you get into an issue, is knowing how to get out of the issue. And I know how to get out of the issue, so I'm not really complaining. I just want to share with you guys that these things can happen to you. Look at how nice and tight that fits. And this just got to get knocked out. Now, this is a convertible brace. Okay, convertible only came with this brace. But nowadays, so far, that old stock that I got from Ames had that brace. So my coupe is actually stronger than original coupe with that bracing, because I left it on. And this one being a convertible, it needed it. This being a Dynacorn floor, it also came. I don't know if this a brand. If you guys do know, let me know. But I think everybody now is putting that brace there. I'm almost 100% sure. I'm telling you my experience so far. The two full floors, had them on. And let me tell you something, this sucker right here, if you guys are gonna do the complete floor like I did on this one, the complete floor, you have to knock it in. If you don't knock these tabs in with a hammer, they are gonna get hooked on the inner wheelhouse, and there is no way you guys are gonna be able to put this floor, complete floor, in the car. So now I'm going to probably put a couple of sheet metal screws. For you guys that don't know, your trunk floor will get welded to this edge here, will get welded to the edge of the inner wheelhouse, and will get welded to the inner rocker. Okay, I'll probably use a couple of self toppers, maybe 3 and 3 on each side just for now, and a couple of more than just 3 on the back here, because I want to just make that gap in the front fit better. Okay, but guys, I'm sharing the process of the build, and I'm sharing the hiccups also that comes with it, for you guys not to get discouraged or stressed out. These things do happen, but I am happy I'm able to get out of it. Everything here will be nice. I also like the trunk floor, how it fits. Look at how nice and tight. That's not even welded. Look at that. That's not even welded. Okay, it's pretty tight, nice and tight, with a couple of sheet metal screws. Then I plug weld after that. She is gonna look absolutely beautiful, and I like that because I don't have to hide nothing with no seam sealer. All right, so there you go. There goes the process on the Lovebird here, 1968 Firebird convertible Lovebird, on original 350 car, original console car with console clock, which God's been very good to me, and I have all that. It didn't come with the car, but I went hunting for parts. And if you guys ask Jonathan from Vinyl Village Garage, I am like a magnet when it comes to rusty car and parts. But I have all that, so I can't wait to finish welding everything. My next video will be the trunk floor drop-offs. That's going to be the next video. Then after that, I could start working on welding in these quarters. These quarters, look at the gap that I'm going to be welding. Almost nothing. Really nice and tight. Okay, and I'm just going to be welding, and as I approach here, I will cut. Okay, so this is butt and weld. Okay, it's going to be butt welded, and here I will cut. Then I will weld, then I will cut some, weld, cut, weld, cut, weld. Whatever extra metal you have here will be falling on this side. Whatever extra metal you have from the car will be falling on the other side. That's going to be my strategy, but I like how everything so far is fitting here on the Lovebird. Okay, and guys, stay tuned. The YouTube channel is getting hot. It's getting pretty popular out there, and I'm really happy for it. And guys, I want to like I was saying on my last video, I was giving shout outs to a whole bunch of YouTube channels, guys that are very experienced, and people, guys and girls that are not that experienced, and they are doing one heck of a job. And I mentioned them on the last video, the one of the floor going in. And my apologies, but I want to also give out a shout out, because he's doing a hell of a job on his 67 Firebird. 67 being a special year for me, and I keep saying this because it was my first bird, and I was only 22 years old, and I still have that bird. It's one of my favorite birds. I could see myself getting rid of any of my cars except that one. That one dies with Louis. And that's R&D Custom. R&D Custom. I mean, he is doing a fabulous job. He's even helping his son also do a car, which I believe is a CUDA. I don't watch too much of those videos because I'm a Firebird guy, but anytime he puts up a video on Firebird, I absolutely would love to watch it because he reminds me of myself when I was dedicated, so dedicated. I'm still dedicated, but when I was a first timer. And when you're a first timer, you're really on top of the car a lot because I mean you're hungry for it. It's like a fighter, a boxer that just started and he's trying to climb up to be champion one day. So that's R&D Custom. Guys, please go check out his channel, support him, subscribe, like, share. Thank you guys. Keep your hands dirty like I always say. Take care. I love all of you. I want to see you guys project. Bye bye now.